Welcome back to Brands Hatch for Mini Challenge 2011. Well, there's been plenty of drama so far this weekend, and it continues. The last race had very changeable weather conditions, and it was highly frenetic as a result. Disappointing. What happened there at the start?
Yeah, it was pretty blocked up at the start of the race. So I sat back and thought, well, take my time, let's get the first lap out of the way. Halfway around there, we come out to Druids, and George Allen seemed to run wide, come back down the inside. I thought, well, there's no way he's going to make the corner, and sure enough he didn't. He's come through on the inside, span round. I went up the inside of the circuit, and somehow his car hit me back wheel and tore the back wheel off.
Chris, first of all, the Grand Prix circuit that we were on for last time, you were phenomenal. Some incredible manoeuvres there, especially round paddock, that first bend. You really held it. Why are you so good in the wet?
Well, born and brought up in Scotland really, and raced at Knockhill for several years, and pretty much every time you go out there it's raining, so I suppose it came from that. The reason why I didn't win the last one is it was a poor decision on my behalf. I took a lap too long to pit for wets, and by the time I came out on the circuit I was a lap down, and it was just really trying to maximise the points really. I think I got through to 4th in the end. I don't know what the weather's going to be like for the last race. If it's dry it's going to be a frantic race. If it's wet then I'm confident I could win it.
So it's time for the final race of what's been a very dramatic weekend. The grid for this race is a reverse of the top 6, so George Allen is in pole, but right behind him are plenty of guys who are desperate to win.
Certainly are, and none more so than Luke Cordell as he exits the assembly area heading to the grid for the final race of the weekend, with George Allen on pole position, Chris Paniatu alongside him on the front row, then Chris Knox and Jason Richardson row 2, and then Luke Cordell and the winner from earlier on today, the Allen, in 6th. Well, it's a rolling start as ever in the mini challenge for the final race of the weekend. So it's the 2 blue cars of Allen and Paniatu pacing the field along the Brown Straight. The lights go out and away we go. And it's a good start from the Allen. Look at that in the blue number 1 machine. He goes around the outside. Jason Richardson in towards Paniatu Bend. They go 4 abreast for 3rd position. But I think it's just George Allen who's got the legs over Paniatu. Yes, it is. So it's George Allen who leads it. Paniatu in 2nd. But then Chris Knox coming up the hill in Druid. So it's Knox who goes 2nd. Paniatu squeezed out wide. The Allen trying to follow through on the inside through Druids. And again, very treacherous conditions for the drivers. Not that you'd know it. They are going in at hammer and tongs from the very early stage of the race. Knox is oh so close to Paniatu, just millimetres between them as they turn through Graham Hill Bend. George Allen goes wide at Graham Hill Bend, so Allen removes himself from the lead of the race. So it's now Chris Knox who takes over ahead of the field, with Paniatu in 2nd, the Allen in 3rd, Jason Richardson 4th, Luke Cordell 5th. No, it's not, or is it? Because we've got the Allen looking inside the Paniatu into clearways. Instead, Chris Paniatu, the ex-Clio Cup racer, taking the swooping wide line. That is going to give him a run, so he hopes, on Chris Knox along the Bradman Straight. And the slipstream means that Paniatu is able to move out of there. He's carried the extra revs. He goes through past Chris Knox, and the Allen looks to follow him through. But Allen leaves himself a little bit exposed on the outside through Paddock Hill Bend. Will then hope for the switch back through Paddock on the way up towards Druids, but Knox covers the line nice and early, so instead Allen darts the outside line, which he's able to make work for him. Around the outside goes the Allen. Does he make that stick for 2nd position? Yes, he does, just about. Chris Knox gives the Allen racing room. Very fair driving there from Chris. He could very easily have put the Allen on the grass. He didn't, so the Allen goes 2nd. It sets of him shooting Chris Paniatu, with Chris Knox there in 3rd, Jason Richardson 4th, Luke Cordell in 4th as he goes up the inside of Jason Richardson in towards Surtees. So it's now Cordell's turn to move up the order and take the challenge to Chris Knox. Club class battle being headed up by Dean Raymond, Patrick Morton, Rout Wharton-Eales and Sarah Parsons. Wharton-Eales, he won all 3 races on the Grand Prix circuit in June. He won the first race earlier on today. Can he make it? 5 wins on the bounce. Find out in due course as the Allen has taken lead the race. So it's Allen who leads it now as Cordell has come up into 3rd position. Richardson in 4th, and Sam Osborne attempts to go 5th around the outside of Chris Knox at Druids, and Chris Knox gives Sam Osborne the opportunity to visit the grass here, test the rallycross properties of the Mini. Osborne, with a leap and a bound, rejoins. He doesn't actually lose a position and is still very much in the hunt. Great ties this one for the podium positions as Cordell sets off in pursuit of Chris Paniatu in 2nd position. Jason Richardson also showing well, which is always good to see. And Chris Knox a little bit muted in this race. He may have just a minor mechanical malady here because he's not showing quite the form he was yesterday in qualifying. That's that he's looking for the move on Richardson, as Wharton-Eales has picked his way past Patrick Mortimer to go 2nd in club class. So Wharton-Eales and Dean Raymond about to rejoin battle as they have been doing so much throughout the course of the 2011 season. As this leading tussle climbs the hill towards Druids, Richardson comes to pressure from Knox, who in turn is being prodded in every single corner by Sam Osborne, desperate to find his way through and move up the order is the youngster Sam Osborne. We ride in car with Chris Knox through Graham Hill Bend and see Sam Osborne glued to his rear bumper, and Knox has to go slightly defensive as they sprint along the Cooper Straight on towards Surtees, and in fact he's not going defensive, he's going to the inside and through on Jason Richardson. So Chris Knox again showing his formidable wet weather face as we have contact between Osborne and Richardson. They both hold it together, but losing several places is Sam Osborne. Right, back to lead of the club class, and Antwater Neils goes around the outside of Dean Raymond. This is for club class lead. They run side by side out of Druids, downhill towards Graham Hill Bend, and through into the lead of the club class goes Antwater Neils. Brave driving from last year's Saxmax champion, although Dean Raymond looks to fight back immediately, so the pair of them still swapping wing mirrors as they sprint towards Surtees, but Water Neils has got the track position, he's got the inside line, so he makes that move stick 2 corners after it started, then has to hold his line quite firmly through clearways. Back to the fight at the head of the field as Jason Richardson is coming to pressure from a recovering George Allen, and Allen goes through, although he's just outbraked himself. Richardson looks to fight back again. These cars running side by side. Wherever you look in this race, there is some fantastic dicing going on throughout the field, and the Mini Challenge in 2011 has really given us some super racing this weekend. Despite the inclement weather, has been no exception as they kick through the spray. George Allen has made that move on Jason Richardson in the dark car. He looks to fight back as we turn our attention back to the club class, and the very nice battle we've got here for second place with Dean Raymond coming under all sorts of pressure from Patrick Morton. We've got a replay here of Gavin Bristow and Lee Sullivan making contact on the Brown Straight. That's a big accident for the pair of them, and look at them sliding across into the face of the incoming traffic. Scary, scary incident there. Well, both of them have managed to get themselves out of the way because the track is clear once more, which is just as well as we fan out almost 4 abreast onto Radbourne Straight. That's Sam Osborne going past George Allen as Patrick Mortimer looks to make the move on Dean Raymond to go second in club class in towards Paddock Hill Bend, and through goes Mortimer. So Mortimer, the man who came into racing because his wife is a Mini fanatic, goes second. It's proving to be an excellent debut season in car racing this for Patrick Mortimer, particularly in wet weather. He really is establishing himself as something as a Rainmeister, as Stuart Lyons in the number 4 car looks to put a lap on them as well around the outside through Druids, and that is rather cramping Dean Raymond's stocks. It costs him the run on Patrick Mortimer down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend, so Mortimer prevails in second place in the club class. At the moment you can see how much more corner speed Mortimer carries as well in relation to Stuart Lyons. So this superb tussle, second in club class, they're about to go a lap down as well to Finley Crocker, and again Mortimer just finds so much grip in the wet weather. He tries to retaliate, in fact he leaves the door open though into clearways as a result of trying to unlap himself. The pair of them run side by side. I think Mortimer's just going to hold on as for the final time onto the Radbourne Straight, here comes Lee Allen. It has been an emphatic weekend for Lee Allen, but what about this for third position, because Chris Paniatu is coming under real pressure here from Luke Cordell, and Cordell's got the run on Paniatu as they sprint on the Radbourne Straight for the final time. So it's the win to Lee Allen. He does the double here at Brands Hatch. Second place goes to Chris Knox, and third place, who's it going to be? They come into shot now by a nose. It's Chris Paniatu who claims third position. And what about second place in club class? They're fighting all the way to the flag here. And Mortimer, though, I think has just got the run on Dean Raymond over the line. Yes, Patrick Mortimer does claim the position. What a race, and here are the results, with Lee Allen taking the win from Chris Knox and Chris Paniatu rounding out the podium, with Luke Cordell in 4th, Sam Osborne in 5th, and George Allen a fighting 6th. In terms of the class honours, well, in the John Cooper Works class, same as the top 3 overall, with Lee Allen from Chris Knox and Chris Paniatu, and in the club class, Antwater Neils claiming the honours from Patrick Mortimer and Dean Raymond after an excellent scrap. Boisterous support as ever for the drivers down in pit lane. A richly deserved round of applause as a triumphant Lee Allen takes his place on the podium.
I mean, Chris Paniatu had a great start. and Chris Knox as well, and it was just chasing them down, and then see that Knox's car wasn't so fast on the start-finish straight, and Chris got him, and then I was like, yeah, okay, I'll have a go with you, and then picked Chris Knox off, and then give it a couple more laps, and we had Chris Paniotto as well, so it was fantastic.
Championship leader at the moment, congratulations back at Donington.
Yeah, long way to go yet.
We got off really well. Kind of held I was leading actually coming off the end of the first lap, but we developed a turbo fault at the end of race 2, and it came back to haunt me in race 3. So round the corners I was much quicker than him, but I just couldn't stay with him on the straights and couldn't really pull fifth gear, to be honest.
To be fair to Luke, I think he had the pace on me. It was just a matter of maintaining. I couldn't catch those first two. They were a little bit out my league to say, but fair dues to Coastal Racing. They put a car together. They've had so many problems this weekend. And they've managed to get one car on the podium, so I'm pleased, and they should be pleased, I hope.
Another win for you, congratulations. I hear you have your driving test coming up.
Yeah, I got my driving test on Friday. Not sure if I'm going to pass it first time, but I'm sure I'll get lots of complaints if I don't.
I don't think you're going to live it down if you don't. Tell us about that race. That was pretty amazing driving.
No, it was a great race. I like starting from the back. Adds a lot more challenge to it. Just picked my way to the front and just kept it there.
After last month's efforts here, I had 3 did not finishes, 1 in the gravel, 1 puncher in the next race and a roll in the third, so I was determined to at least finish a race here today, so be on the podium twice is great.
You were a little bit disappointed, that was quite a tough battle there.
I'm a little bit disappointed, it was just nice to have a finish. It was a good clean race with both Ant and Patrick.
Well, it's been an absolutely fantastic weekend of Mini Challenge here on the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. So much drama and plenty of amazing racing. Join us next time at Donington.